So let's get started here. Welcome, everyone, to Stump the Stuck, the sports game show where you can win my money in trivia. Zerillo returns after winning 2 games in a row. He's in prime position to come back during championship week to face me in a baseball show with the chance to be the overall champion. More details on that to come later. PK is the challenger here. It is a baseball-themed show. For those of you that are new here or don't know how it works, it's pretty simple. There are 10 questions. There are 3 different rounds. The first round, each contestant will get 3 questions. The first one worth 1 point, second 2 points, third 3 points. They're just questions. I'll say, for example, who won the World Series this year? You either know it or you don't. The kicker here in the first round is if you don't know the answer or you get it incorrect or can't come up with anything in the 20 seconds allotted, the other person will have a chance to steal those points. The second round is an over-under round. I'll say something like, how many hits did Mike Trout have last year? Right? You'll write an answer down. At the same time, we'll reveal it. Whoever's closest will get the points. In the last round, we go back and forth. It'll be some category with between 10 and 30 answers, and we'll go back and forth until one person doesn't know the answer. It sounds more complicated than it is. Let's go ahead and get started here.
So wait, can people cheat? Like, is he just using his fucking Google machine over there? What's happening?
Who, me?
No, Pizzillo.
Zerillo? Yeah, I mean, it's an honor system. We're in quarantine. We can't. But yeah, I mean, look, there's no. So far, there's been no accusations or thoughts of cheating. You could probably see if someone is. I mean, you could too, PK. But we trust each other. It's a company game here.
I mean, come on. I had Mark Cuban at the All Hands today. What are you talking about?
We did have Mark Cuban at the All Hands. That was awesome. So hopefully he's watching and tuning in here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I know already that Zerillo is going to say he's the home team and the reigning champ, so he's going to start off with PK. So PK, we're going to start off with you for 1 point. This athletics closer, you're going to have 20 seconds after the question. This athletics closer won MVP in 1992. 20 seconds.
An MVP in 92?
Athletics closer. That is correct. PK comes out firing with a point to make it 1-0. Zerillo, did you know that?
I did, yeah. I thought Raleigh for a second until you said 92, and then I switched to Eck.
When Pizzillo, I was going to say the same thing. When he got started, I was ready to say Raleigh fingers before he said the year.
There we go. We're off to a fast start here. We'll move on to Zerillo's question for 1 point. We'll piggyback off that question. In 2011, who became the first pitcher since Eckersley to win MVP? 2011, this player became the first pitcher since Eckersley to win MVP. 5 seconds.
I'm going to say Verlander.
That is correct. We're off to a hot start here. It is 1-1 after 1 round. We'll move on to the questions that are worth 2 points. PK, who has won MVP more times than any other player in Major League Baseball history? 20 seconds on the clock.
Barry Bonds.
That is correct. Barry Bonds.
That was a 2-point question. Come on,
7 times. Look, I gotta suck up here a little bit to my boss here. All right, it's 3-1. Look, the questions are comparably easy each round. Sometimes people are going to complain they're too easy. A lot of times people complain they're too hard. So this is a new complaint that I'm welcoming. All right, moving on to question 4 for 2 points for Zerillo. Name one of the 4 players that have won MVP at multiple positions. 20 seconds on the clock. Four players in MLB history have won MVP at multiple positions. Name one of them.
Tough one. I'm going to go with Robin Yount.
That is correct. That is a great pull. I thought you would have went with A-Rod, which is the more modern one, but Yount's correct. Yeah. Stan the Man Musial and Hank Greenberg were the others. PK, would you know that?
Yes, and can you tell me the 3 players who have played shortstop and hit home runs as teenagers?
In general?
Mm-hmm.
3 shortstops, teenagers.
I know one.
You just said one.
Yeah.
What are we putting?
One of them I'm trying to remember that I'm missing. It's A-Rod, it's Yount, and it's what's his name? Tony La Russa.
That's what I was gonna say. We're putting so we're putting A-Rod as a shortstop.
Yeah.
I still don't think of A-Rod as a shortstop. I wouldn't have. Tony La Russa's the third one?
Yeah, Tony La Russa, A-Rod, and Yount.
Interesting. All right, that's a great trivia question. All right, so we are out firing here. We're 4 for 4. It is 3-3. We are moving on to the 3-point questions, which are a little tougher here. PK, this goes to you. The Rays and 2 other teams have never had an MVP winner. The Rays and 2 other teams have never had an MVP winner. Name one of those teams.
I know that I want to say an answer that I know is wrong because it's happened recently.
5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Need an answer here.
I was going to say Astros, but I think Altuve won one. And my last one I will say is the Expos.
That is incorrect. Zerillo? One.
Yeah, I think they have 2 World Series, but no MVP. I'm going to say the Marlins.
That is incorrect. I got to find out who the Marlins MVP is to make sure that you're not.
It wasn't Gary Sheffield.
Stanton won it in 2017.
Okay, gotcha.
The correct answer is the Diamondbacks. And where I thought Zerillo might go here, this is a surprising one. This is the one that you could stump a lot of people with. Because the Rays are fairly newer. The Mets have never had an MVP. All right, so no points there.
Cy Youngs. Yeah.
Yep, but never an MVP. They've come close, but
Dale Strawberry, when he was second, I forget what year, he was totally robbed. He should have won it that year. He came in second in the MVP voting.
Yep. Yeah, they had a couple in a couple year span around the Strawberry years that were close. All right, the 3-point question for Zerillo. The Yankees have the most MVPs with 22. Name the only other franchise with 20 or more. 20 seconds on the clock. The Yankees have the most MVPs with
St. Louis Cardinals.
That is correct. Great pull there.
That was a good one, but kind of easy.
The host is getting eviscerated here today. All right, it's a 3-point lead for Zerillo going to the second round. Still anybody's game. The main goal in the first.
Cardinals have a player who has won. You can fill every position on the diamond with a player who's won consecutive MVPs. Wow. And Stan Musial is one of them for first base.
Yep. All right, so let's move on to the second round. Get your pens and papers ready.
Got it.
The first question is worth 1.
Do I have to answer big ass letters?
Yeah. I mean, just so we can see it. I mean, you can always hold it up to the camera. We'll be able to see it. All right, PK. This is related to the hat that you have on. The 1961 Phillies have the longest MLB losing streak since 1900. How many games straight did they lose? 20 seconds on the clock.
Oh, man.
So the goal isn't to get it exactly right. Whoever's closest. Longest, 1961 Phillies. Longest modern era MLB.
I got it.
All right. Hold up your answers. Zerillo goes 18. PK goes 17. The correct answer is 23.
Oh,
Zerillo pulls it off
Price
by
is right.
one game. That actually happened with the with Ravel too, with the RBIs. So Zerillo is bringing his.
I
right
literally, I had 18 in my head and was about to write it, and it just felt like too much.
I was gonna write 20. It felt too high. Yeah, that's sub losing streak. Isn't the win record is what the A's with 18? So it's not even that high.
And if you go all the way back, the Louisville Colonels, I believe, in like 1890, lost 26 in a row. But this is the modern era. Yeah, it's 23 games in baseball. It's ridiculous. All right, moving on to the next question for 2 points. This is one of my favorite questions. Favorite trivia questions, I should say, in baseball. Barry Bonds set the record with walks in a single postseason in 2002 with how many? 20 seconds on the clock. Barry Bonds set the record with walks in a single postseason back in 2002 with how many? Five seconds. All right. Need your answers. The correct answer is 27. PK wins. He's closer. He's 10 off, and Zerillo is 11 off. PK picks up a huge 2 points, making it 7-5. He was walked 27 times, intentionally walked 19 times in the playoffs that year. Insane.
I mean, it's crazy when you look at historical career intentional walks. Like,
it's ridiculous.
How far away he is from second place is like, and 1 year, I think he had 112 intentional walks.
Yeah, a year when probably the same year he was intentionally walked with the bases loaded.
Sure, Walter.
I'm gonna look this up. I was really looking this up the other day. He intentionally walked in 2004 120 times.
That was the year after the 70 homers?
Yeah, it was the year he had 45 home runs. And total walks that season, 232. And hit and led the league in batting. Only he did that twice. He hit 362.
It's absurd.
Him not being in the Hall of Fame is completely absurd. But anyway,
his eyes were better than anybody ever. His the best eyes.
Third. He had 514 career steals.
Crazy that he's not in the Hall of Fame, but that's the topic for another day. All right. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame player before all that.
He has the career record in numbers in 3 categories. Can you tell me what those are?
The record in what?
Career most ever in Major League Baseball history in 3 categories.
Say homers, walks.
Homers, intentional walks, and walks.
Yep.
Intentional walks.
All right, let's move on to the third question. Regardless of what will happen here, Zerillo leads by 2. This is worth 3 points. The final round's worth 5 points. So even if PK, you don't get this, you could tie it and we go to a tiebreaker, an over-under question. If you don't win this, so it'll still be anybody's game. But the question here is how many times in the 1990s, so the decade of the 1990s, how many times, I should say, let me rephrase the question, because it is important here. How many times did a player in the 1990s hit 50 or more home runs? 20 seconds on the clock. So how many times in the 1990s did a player hit 50 or more home runs?
Only in the 90s.
Only in the 90s.
So individual seasons.
Yep.
The number of seasons that this has occurred.
Correct.
For individual players.
Yes, number of times. So it could be a player. If the player did it twice, that would be 2. Okay, need your answers here.
I'm ready. I think this is an interesting one. I feel like I'm going under.
I don't know if I'm high or low.
The correct answer is 12. PK gets it correct. And only with the interesting part is between 1965 and 1990, only one player did it, which is a crazy. It's in George Foster in like the late 70s.
Yeah.
So only one player did it. And then, obviously we had it happened a bunch in the mid to late 90s. But it's a very tough question because you don't know to frame it. It's like, all right, I know a bunch of people started doing it, but is it in the 20s? Is it in the teens?
I remember there were so many Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, but there was Brady Anderson and Cecil Fielder, and I'm trying. I just didn't think it could get above 8. I'm just even wondering who are the ones. So it's Brady Anderson, Cecil Fielder, it's Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire,
a couple of times though.
Palmeiro in there.
Palmeiro, Bonds. But Bonds, I don't know. Bonds didn't hit 50 until the 2000s.
Correct. Let's see.
Dante Bichette, maybe.
No.
He had a crazy year for the Rockies.
Albert Bell had 50 once.
All right.
Let me see if I could find it. Albert Bell. Did we said Brady Anderson? McGwire.
Brady Anderson loves steroids.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Steroids love Brady Anderson.
Huge steroid fan.
Okay. All right. But let's move on to the final round. PK actually leads 8-7. We are going into the final round where we're going to go back and forth here. This time, there are only 10 correct answers. There's only 10 correct answers. PK, you have the lead, so you're going to start.
Am I writing shit
go
down?
Back and forth. Now, you can write down to keep track of what's been said because you don't want to repeat. Now, if one of you can't come up with an answer or comes up with an incorrect answer, the game's not over then. The next person then has a chance to clinch it. If they don't have a correct answer, you have a chance to get back in the game. All right, so let's start. Here's the question. Name the 10 participants that played in the World Series in the 1990s. So 10 teams, some obviously did it multiple times. The 10 teams that played in the World Series in the 1990s. 20 seconds on the clock, but feel free to start. Okay, you have the lead, so you can start whenever you'd like.
Okay. Oh, I can just start rattling them off?
Well, no, you're going to go one, and then it's going to go to Zerillo, and it's going to go back and forth until one of you doesn't know one.
Okay, Phillies.
The Phillies, that is correct.
With the Yankees.
That is correct. Back to PK.
Blue Jays.
Blue Jays is correct.
Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta Braves is correct. Back to PK.
Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks is incorrect.
Oh, that's 2000.
2000, off by a year. That is when, that's 2001, right? 2001 with the Yankees Diamondbacks. So right there, but it's not over yet. Zerillo has to come up with one of the 6 remaining teams in order to clinch the win. If not, PK, you'll have a chance to get back in it with the correct answer.
I said it before. I'll end it with the Florida Marlins.
That is correct.
Are the Padres on there? I was pretty sure the Padres
are. The Padres are on there. We mentioned a couple players on these teams: the A's, the Twins, the Indians, and a team that a lot of people forget: the Reds.
The Giants.
I don't think the Giants made it in the 90s.
No, I think that was
who did
01.
the A's play? It was A's Reds during the earthquake?
Wasn't it?
That was I think that was 88.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
that was 88 or 87.
80.
No, it was later than that.
No, that was late 80s, I think.
What was the earthquake that was in during the World Series?
I thought that was Dodgers A's in like 88, wasn't it?
89 World Series.
Okay, it was 89.
Yeah, 89 is A's Giants. Yeah, the Reds played the A's, I think at 91. 90. Here, let me pull them up. It was a hell of a game. It's probably one of our most competitive games. PK.
That was tight.
You were great throughout. You had a lead going into the final round. The Diamondbacks were off by a couple years. Yeah, we had Reds, A's in 90, Twins, Braves 91, Blue Jays, Braves 92, Blue Jays, Phillies 93, 94, obviously strike, 95 Braves, Indians, 96 Yankees, Braves, 97 Marlins, Indians, 98 Yankees, Padres, 99 Yankees, Braves. Notice you don't hear the Mets in there, and you do hear the Phillies. So I'll end it on that note. Zerillo, we'll see you back.
Find me a TV rating on that Marlins Indians World Series. Yikes.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good thing to look up. I'm going to look that up after this. Zerillo, well done. PK, well done as well. It was a great game. We'll see you back here, Zerillo, next week. More to come on the opponent and the theme. But enjoy your weekend, gentlemen.
You too, guys. That was fun.
Take care, guys.